The cinema of Mongolia has been strongly influenced by the cinema of Russia, which differentiates it from cinematic developments in the rest of Asia. History. It is assumed that the first cinematographic performances in Mongolia happened between 1903 and 1913, as private events for the Prince Dogsocher in Namninshuran and the Jetsundamba in the capital Urga. After the Socialist Revolution, the Mongolian People's Revolutionary Party decided in its Fifth Congress of 1925 to use movies as an instrument of mass education. From 1926 on, mobile projection facilities would regularly show Soviet films to the Mongolian people. The first permanent cinema art opened in the capital in 1934. Eventually, every AMAG center would have fixed cinemas, and every Sums of Mongolia and Negdal would have a mobile cinema. In the 1990s, many cinemas, fixed and mobile alike, closed down or reduced activities. Mongol Kino. The National Film Studios Mongol Kino were founded in 1935, with Soviet technical assistance. The first productions were a documentary on the 47th anniversary of the 1st of May, and a fictional story named A Mongol Son directed by the Russian Ilya Trauberg and Mongolian Dembrel Bolden. The first Mongolian-directed movie was the black-and-white short feature Norma's Destiny by Dembrel Bolden in 1938. From then on, the Mongolian movie production focused around heroic revolutionary propaganda and ancient popular legends, still often under Russian direction. This program was very successful with movies like Sukhbator and Tsogtaij. The studios of Mongol Kino also produced documentaries and current news reports. 1950s and 1960s. After World War II, the party moved the focus on working-class heroes, reflected in movies like New Year by Yevgeny Zandra. Examples of this genre are Awakening by Sgendin and The Rejected Girl by Dendivan Shimid-Osor. In 1955, the first musical comedy appeared, which started a trend that continued into the 1960s. The first color movie was The Golden Duet, based on a folk tale. It was produced in cooperation with the East German DEFA studios. The music of the film, written by Elmore Dorj, was played and recorded by the GDR Radio Orchestra and became a classic of the Mongolian symphony. As a fairy tale film, it is rich with match-moving and other special effects of cinematography. 1970s and 1980s. While the production of documentaries increased, the fictional stories turned to everyday life in the 1970s. One of the most famous movies of the time, The Crystal Clear Tamir River by Ravjajian Dorjpalam, based on the novel by Chadra Ibalan Lorduidamba, is however set during Mongolia's 1921 revolution. Other well-known productions were The Legend of the Mother Oasis, made in 1976 by Gumbo Javjigjidsuran and Jamiangian Buntar, and The Five Colors of the Rainbow in 1979. The Leading Wrestler Garuda by Jamiangian Buntar marks a turning point, where the authors liberate themselves from the existing power structures. 1990s and 2000s. After the introduction of market economy, most mobile and permanent cinemas closed down. Mongolian productions had to seek partners outside of the former COMECON. However, some young filmmakers of the transformation period, such as N. Gankhyag, B. Uran Chimek, J. Binder, made domestic success films. The movie, Genghis Khan, Under Power of the Eternal Sky, starring Enktiv and Agvansaran, was the first Mongolian-Japanese co-production. State of Dogs was written and directed collaboratively by the Belgian Peter Brozens and the Mongolian Dorkan Abandoned Termunk. The director Byam Bashir and Devar has had international success with the German-Mongolian co-productions The Story of the Weeping Camel and The Cave of the Yellow Dog. Elsni Noodle was a successful movie produced for the domestic market in 2007. Later known films are I Am Negand Erlal, Goyolian Darshins etc. The 2008 historical film A Pearl in the Forest by director Enktivan Agvantsaren is one of the first films to openly talk about events of the 1930s and the impact of the rise of Soviet communism on Mongolia. It is also one of the first films intended to present the history of the Buryats, one of the ethnic groups present in Mongolia.